Right, then the week after Wimbledon.
Oh, well, congratulations with
Thank
that, too.
you very much.
Thanks. Certainly enjoyed watching his play today, Jerry.
Good player, isn't he?
Terrific.
Mind you, I told you 2 weeks ago, Desmond, that Zivojinovic would be the name on everybody's lips here at Wimbledon. Well, not exactly on everybody's lips, slightly falling off it, I think.
The commentators are actually drawing lots to avoid his next match, you know.
Who?
The big Yugoslav. Tell us about the other seeds today and what happened to them.
Well, Jimmy Connors, the third seed, he didn't have any collywobbles at all. He beat Stefan Simonsson of Sweden. And talking of Swedes, Anders Jared, the fifth seed, he won 6-3 in the fifth against Claudio Panatta. He had been 2 sets all overnight, you may remember. Joachim Nyström, the seventh seed, he beat Jason Goodall, the Yorkshire boy. That was in 4 sets. Stefan Edberg, the 14th seed, he beat Peter Duren of Australia in 3 sets. But the Swedish girl seed, Katarina Lindqvist, she was seeded 12th. She was beaten on the centre court by the American Barbara Potter. And that was the first girl seed to go out. Another seed out, the men's 10th seed, Aaron Krickstein, he lost to a tall American Bud Schultz. That was in 4 sets. And there was a close one as well for the 11th seed, Yannick Noah, who beat Brad Gilbert in 5 sets.
Well, we've had better weather today, but I was just thinking it must get just as boring for the players sort of hanging around when they're not playing as it is for the fans who want to watch tennis when it's raining.
It is. In fact, 2 of the people who I think have been smartest, at least it's turned out smartest for them, are Yannick Noah, who I just mentioned, and Jimmy Connors. Noah was telling me today that he and Jimmy Connors and their respective wives and families have rented a house just across the road from the All England Club, rented it just for the day. They go back to their own homes at night. And so when it's been raining and everyone else has been wondering what to do, Noah and Connors and co meet in their little house, sit there, play cards, put the telly on, cup of tea, enjoy themselves with the children. I think that's lovely.
Smart move. What about Elliot Telscher? You were mentioning
Elliot
him.
Telscher, yes, must tell you about Elliot Telscher, the 13th seed, the Californian, who beat Gianni Oklepo in 4 sets. Telscher, you know, came here 9 years ago, hated the place, and went back home and has endlessly told everybody that he's never coming back to Wimbledon. He's going to lie on a Californian beach while it rains and rains and rains at Wimbledon. Well, he's come back this year, and he's right.
It rains and rains and rains. But he won, didn't he?
He did.
And he'll play John Lloyd in the next round.
That's right. John Lloyd, he got through today against Wolfgang Popp of West Germany. That was in 3 sets. Here's Lloyd serving for the match. Went to a tie-break in the 3rd set. He was feeling ill at the time. He'd been given a turkey sandwich by Chris. She'd made it, and he admitted that if he hadn't got the match over in time, he might have been quite sick on court. It's funny that. I thought Chrissy was rather good about the kitchen. And Stephen Shaw, he's the British number 2. He lost. He lost to the man serving here now, Chris Lewis, the New Zealander, who was a Wimbledon finalist 2 years ago. That was 3 sets. Good victory for Lewis.
Thanks, Jerry. Well, we've seen one of the young lions in action here today, and the 21-year-old Zivojinovic. Now to an even younger one, the 17-year-old German Boris Becker. Well, of course, he's just won the tournament at Queen's Club, but he's unseeded here. Now, many people are thinking of him as a future Wimbledon champion. But his first-round opponent this time certainly couldn't be considered a pushover. He was the big serve and volleyer from the United States, Hank Pfister. We join it at 1 set all, with Becker 3-1 up in the 3rd set. Mark Cox and Dan Maskell again.
Love 15. $15 all. $30-15.
Well, after all that effort coming from the backhand corner right up to the umpire chair almost, one thought that he really was going to make it.
30 all.
It's quite remarkable how he gets the speed on his shots, this fellow, even though he's such a big chap.
(40-30). Deuce.
A little bit late on the volley and getting the unintentional slice on the ball, which made it fade away. It's in. It's in.
Advantage Becker.
Tremendous rally, and it gives Becker a break point, and the line judge was very quick on that close ball, put his palms of the hands down to the ground, denoting that it was in. It was a very good decision, very close ball. So break point. And a miss hit.
Then Becker. Becker leads 4-1, third set, 1 set all.
Well, perhaps a little bit fortunate with the last passing shot there, Boris Becker, but really he has been pressing Pfister's serve very hard indeed throughout this entire set. And to give him the break point was this point here coming up, and very exciting point it was indeed. Again, Pfister caught on the half volley. A very fine return by Becker. Now he goes for the passing shot, but he doesn't quite make it, decides to come into the net, and there's a superb volleying exchange. This ball looked as though it was almost past Pfister. He hoists up the lob, and how well Becker lunges to that overhead, and it just bounces inside the line. Well, this young man really is now going from strength to strength. 2 service breaks in this third set, serving at 4-1.
Love 15.
Well, we haven't seen a better cross-court pass off a low ball than that. That was one of the most magnificent shots I've seen off a low ball.
Love 30. (15-30).
Second service coming to the rescue there.
30 all. Thirty, 40. Deuce.
Becker certainly having to play against a man who's shown everyone here tonight just how well you can play the return of serve against a big serve if you use the blocked reply. 4-1 deuce, third set, 1 set all.
Advantage Pfister. Ladies and gentlemen, please do not use flash photography just before a player is to serve or during play. It's very distracting. Thank you. One fault. Pfister, new balls, please. Becker leads 4 games to 2, third set.
And as one sees Becker falling on the ground like that, one remembers that last year, of course, in the third round on court 2, he suffered that awful injury, ligamentous strain of the knee, and was out of the game for such a long time. 2-4.
Love 15.
Really, the server ought to be making use of these new balls.
Love 30. Love 40. $15, 40. 30-40. Deuce.
So from love 40 to deuce, and Hank Pfister yet again showing what anticipation can do for you. He really is reading the young German's shots, and particularly his passing shots, so well. 2-4 deuce, third set, 1 set all.
Advantage Becker.
Just out.
Becker.
Well, Becker finally took the set 6-2, 2 sets to 1 up. Here now, the start of the fourth.
Love 15. All. Thirty, 15. Forty, 15.
One of the most remarkable shots I've ever seen.
And
that really was quite one of the most remarkable shots I've ever seen. The ball going away very quickly and terribly low, and the man about to play it on the full run, going at speed and bringing off that pass.
Pfister.
He thinks he hit it twice.
Game, fourth set.
I don't think there was much wrong with that, Mark Beale.
No, I think in any case, of course, the rule has been changed. If you did, once upon a time, if you had made 2 separate contacts with the ball, it was a foul shot. But these days, you can hit the ball twice as long as it's one continuous stroke. And quite clearly, Hank Pfister was playing one continuous stroke there. But a very fine return from Pfister. But we are seeing some spectacular tennis from both of these players, and none more so in that last game from this young man, who really is delighting us with some superb passing shots from all parts of the court. Rather a high return, forces a fairly deep volley to the backhand side, but that shot, how he managed to find the angle there, it didn't look geometrically possible that he could get the ball across there for such a fine winner.
Becker to serve.
So the score, Pfister 1-love in the fourth set. And it's Becker to serve.
Love 15. All.
Becker's success.
Real slow motion. 2 inches wide. 2 full inches wide.
Inches wide, but the ace stands. It's 15 all, but the light is appalling now.
$15.30. All.
Well, Becker hasn't been presented with too many gifts of that kind. The return of serve at shoulder height and floating. He's usually had to pick them up off his toes. No bound, well done.
$30.40.
Californians never give up. He was out of that rally at one time without a chance. So, a break point for a 2-love lead for Pfister. That's a wonderful second serve again. The number of times in this match that Becker's service has come to his rescue.
Advantage Becker.
And a rally for the gods there in this awfully bad light. A marvellous rally. Both men absolutely playing at their peak there. out.
Deuce. Advantage Becker. Deuce.
And even in the darkness and at this late hour, the crowd absolutely involved in this match. Being rewarded by some really remarkable tennis.
Second service.
No.
Advantage Becker.
Very first time almost that he's missed that deft little dink return that the incoming serving volleyer hates. He finds a lifeless ball at his feet. He has to make his own pace and his own direction, of course. The first time Hank Pfister has really missed one.
Well, there was only time for 2 more games. They won 1 apiece, and that match will resume tomorrow. Right, part 2 now of our Wimbledon competition. I presume you've already got your answer to the first part last night. All we need to know tonight is, in which year was this match played?
40-30. Still match point.
That's it. Oh, Ball doesn't think it's a good serve. He's appealing, and Roger Taylor doesn't think it's a good one either.
Game, set, and match to Taylor.
Borg is stupefied there. And Taylor is asking to play it again.
Great names of the recent past. We're looking for the year in which the match was played. Note it down with your answer to last night's question, and we'll have part 3 for you tomorrow night. And then I'll tell you where to send your entries. Prizes are our BBC Wimbledon cassettes, showing you all the great players at Wimbledon over the past 30 years or so. Let's just have a look now at what we've got in store from here tomorrow on centre court anyway. And Jerry, there's an early start.
Yes, 12 o'clock on all courts.
And just looking at our list of matches, we've got, of course, Chris Lloyd to look forward to.
Yes, you know, Chris Lloyd's coach, Dennis Ralston, had to fly back to the States because his wife wasn't well. That was after the French Championships. But she's got her mother and father over. He hasn't been over here for years. And her sister Claire. So there's a good little team round there. Plus Donald Watt, Scott's coach, who Cliff Richard took to Australia to play with him. He's helping her as well.
I mean, well, he's a good lad. Right. Well, just to repeat, play will begin here on all courts at midday tomorrow. We've got some catching up to do. And our transmission begins at 10:50 in the morning to include the second test match from Lord's. Well, as we leave you, I know many of you are tennis players, so when you look at this, just ask yourself if you're really putting your weight into your first serve, as you should. Cheerio.
And here she is, in her last Wimbledon, in singles at least, she says, beating Leah Antonopoulos of the United States. That's Leah returning service, and Virginia coming to the forecourt, as she always does, always very powerful there. And here's the big killer shot coming up on the forehand. And the crowd absolutely loved it. So did Virginia. Anne Hobbs, too. Here's Anne from Manchester, just outside Manchester. She had a win. She beat Grace Kim of the United States. This is match point. A plucky victory for Anne Hobbs, and that'll lift her up a bit. She hasn't had the best of health this last few months, and so that was good stuff. And then late tonight, Sarah Gomer, the Torquay girl. She did very well. She won a match in 3 sets against Beverly Mould of South Africa. And then there was also a match between 2 English girls, Sally Reeves and Rena Iney, and Sally Reeves won that one. Jo Dury, she actually didn't get on court today at all because the match got so late.
And the men, or generally speaking?
A lot of British casualties, I'm afraid. Colin Downswell, Jeremy Bates, Joe Louis, Julie Salmon, Stuart Bale. In fact, 7 of the 8 British men in the first round of the singles all went out. Leaves just John Lloyd.
OK, well, the Germans have come up with a young player with a considerable talent in Boris Becker. Only 17 years of age, he's now in the world's top 20, something even a 17-year-old McEnroe hadn't achieved. He's won 2 tournaments in Britain this year, the Young Masters in January, and of course the Queen's Club tournament a couple of weeks ago. Becker's first-round match here against the American Hank Pfister continued today on centre court, where they left off last night. Here it is at 3-all in the 4th set. Becker 2 sets to 1 up. Mark Cox and Dan Maskell looking on.
Love 15. Love 30.
One of the features of the play yesterday, when the man in your picture, Pfister, going in behind his serve, some of his first volleys behind the serve were really quite beautiful, from below the height of the net particularly. Man with a very much better doubles record than singles record, although his singles record isn't bad at all, but missed that one. Yes. Well, here's a man in touch on his ground stroke return. Very fast, early ball, all the things you need for a quick return against a fast, really fast server.
Game Becker. New balls, please. Becker leads 4 games to 3, 4th set, and by 2 sets to 1.
Mark how often this happens, when the last game with the balls and the man breaks the serve. Your experienced players do look for this, don't they? This chance to break the serve when the balls are getting a little older.
Yes, but it was... you're absolutely right, Dan, but it was not a particularly good game from Hank Pfister there. He missed 2 relatively easy forehand volleys, the first 2 points. Then his opponent really pounced upon a second serve, which was to the forehand side. A dangerous ploy, really, to serve to the forehand side at the deuce court, and then finished it off with somewhat tentative double fault. And one can only think now that Boris Becker is going to run away with this match. It's very difficult, I think, for Pfister to be able to break his serve. He's looking very confident indeed, Becker.
Quiet, please, ladies and gentlemen.
And certainly playing extremely well. his debut on the centre court here. So 4-3, fourth set.
And the sun shining right into the eyes of the server from this end of the court.
Love 15.
Rather a different return of serve that Pfister is using. The blocked return, which again was one of the great ploys that he used, making Becker occasionally have to half volley or volley the lifeless ball, the blocked return. Yes.
15 all.
Eighth ace.
Not up. 30-15.
6'1½", 12 stone 5, Becker, and moves really so well for a big man. Well,
30 all.
we saw a lot of these yesterday. A doubles player shot here. What a way, what a place he has to get to play it. And it's inside the junction of the cross service line and sideline. Really beautiful return. 30 all.
(40-30).
Oh,
Deuce.
now that's very rare that the German misses an overhead, and it was only round about the service line. I don't think he missed one yesterday, and a lot of the tennis I've seen him play, he hardly ever misses an overhead shot.
Advantage Becker.
Not quite finding the consistency of return, Mr. Pfister, that he showed yesterday.
Game Becker. Becker leads 5-3, fourth set.
So he really has come with a rush from 2-3 to 5-3. So Hank Pfister needs all his best services and all his best play right now.
(15 love).
Out.
15 all. 30-15.
The mistimed return of service, presenting the server with a lovely, easy shoulder-high volley.
(40-15). Game Pfister. Becker leads 5-4, fourth set, and by 2 sets to 1.
Well, some real clever racket work there from Hank Pfister and some good reflex. Saved the day for him, perhaps temporarily. But his opponent, Becker, I think has learnt a good deal in this match from Pfister, because Pfister has used to great effect that sort of shot, that short-angled shot in this match. And shot directly at the body again by Becker, but this time good self-defense. Hoist the ball back into play. But the short-angled shot which Becker used in that rally has been used to great effect by Hank Pfister. And I'm sure that Becker has learnt greatly.
Time.
And interestingly, that Becker has been serving very much more to the strength of Hank Pfister on the forehand side. But I think this is primarily because he's had so much trouble with the control of the return of serve from Pfister's backhand. He's been dropping it just over the net and catching Becker at his feet. So it's Becker now serving for the match. 5-4.
Love.
Yeah, we saw one of the great qualities of this young man. When he comes in positive fashion, goes straight onto the net. By the time he volleyed that ball, I suppose he was only about 5 feet away from the net, never allowing it to drop near his feet.
First service.
Why?
30, love.
Why? I mean, if you're going to give him 2 inches to the wide line, it's impossible to return at all.
Well, we can have another glimpse at it. Well, it's impossible to say, isn't it, really? It certainly was a lot of chalk.
The box is too big already.
Well, Stephen Wynyard from the chair has confirmed the decision, and it's 30 love.